You're listening to the Lawyers with Purpose Practice Success podcast, hosted by Lisa Rozier, featuring attorney Dave Zampano, along with frequent guests. Whether you're a seasoned estate planning attorney, an attorney looking to add estate planning and elder law to your existing list of practice areas, or you're just starting out, this podcast will give you a solid plan for success. Listen now as Dave and his guests share their personal journeys to practice success and the insights they learned along the way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lawyers with Purpose Practice Success podcast. I'm Lisa Rozier and joined with Dave Zampano, my partner in crime with these podcasts. And today we have a special guest, Alan Hougum. He is one of the Lawyers with Purpose members, and he's located in Wisconsin. And Alan, thank you for joining us the next 20 minutes to a half hour of this conversation.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Yeah, glutton for punishment, right now. So, Alan, I love that you're here. Thank you for taking time. I could actually say to you out of your busy schedule. And we're having conversations. We just finished a conversation with another LWP member who shared their story. I think it'd be worthwhile for you maybe take a minute or two to, again, people listening to this, they're at all different parts of their career. It'd be great to hear your story and your story of what your life looked like prior to meeting LWP and since, just kind of at a macro level, and then we'll dig into the details where relevant.
Well, if you want me to go back to the sixth grader whose librarian mother foisted some Perry Mason novels on him, I can go back that far. That's where it really started. But I think my legal journey after law school was I just wanted to come back to a city about the size of mine in Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. I was born here. I probably grew up about a half an hour away. But it really started, I started at a big law firm. I started in employee benefits, actually. I was drafting, pension plans for big factories and mills and 2,000 employee kind of things. And I got to sit in a room by myself with the Internal Revenue Code for 10 or 12 hours a day. And I didn't really get to see many people other than the one partner who was supervising me. So dealing with the tax code kind of led me to estate planning. That firm had an ability to move from that area to trust and estates, which back 20 years ago dealt more with the tax code, and that really led me to a partnership. I had a partner, and I left that firm and joined a partnership where there were two of us who had two partners. We had 7 lawyers and about 30 employees, and basically 6 of the lawyers and about 27 of the employees did finance work and corporate work. And I was the one attorney and a couple of other staff members with me who did estate planning. So that was where I kind of cut my teeth for a longer period of time. And really, that was where I found Lawyers with Purpose. I just got the random introduction by email. I was actually recounting the story last night. Someone was asking me, what happened? Give me the story. So I went through the whole thing, and it was transformative. And that is where I really added the elder law part of it, the Medicaid planning and things like that. And then about 8 years ago, we branched off, seeing as there's one lawyer and 2 staff members, separate from the rest of the firm. We just kind of took that and moved a few blocks away and started our own. So that was 8 years ago. And that was one lawyer.
How scary was that for you?
Well, tremendously, because I'm a planner, and it was something that I never would have left. There was a little bit of friction in the old firm, just because after I found Lawyers with Purpose, the production just skyrocketed. My revenue went up literally immediately, a month later. Now, that's not for everybody, and that's not what everyone's story is, but for mine it was. And the first year was tremendous, and it really caused a little bit of a difficulty in the firm, just with how that works. Suddenly there were new roles that were, the revenue shift was dramatic, and it was sudden, at least for me. And again, that's not everyone, but that caused some, I guess, kind of an underlying reason why leaving the firm probably made some sense. But I was scared. I frankly was, scared of doing it. I never would have done it otherwise, but the circumstances kind of led to it.
So what did that look like? So someone listening to this is saying, oh my gosh, maybe not the exact story, but I'm ready. I have to do this on my own, but how can I? Hindsight, there were scary thoughts. There were things along the way that you learned from LWP or other places. What are some trigger things you would tell a listener to look for, and some things you would tell them to give them the confidence to maybe push through that, to maybe jump on their own?
I can think about, just my own personal story very directly is I received so much business from just direct referrals, financial advisors, CPAs, insurance professionals, those types of things. And I thought, if I leave, then I'm not going to have any of those referrals anymore. Like, they won't have my phone number. So I didn't know where I was going to derive revenue if I left. I never wanted to leave. And it was the last thing because I thought it would really hurt the business. And really, LWP, one of the coaches at LWP said, why? Because I had all these models. I said, well, can I survive if my revenue goes down by a third? Can I survive if my revenue goes down by half? And what are the plans and the contingency plans? And my LWP coach said, why would your revenue go down? I said, well, they're not going to know my phone number. She said, so call them, tell them, go to lunch with them, have a meeting with them. They'll know. They're following you. They're not going to follow, they don't care about the firm name. They care about the attorney. They care about the team. The attorney and my team members are the ones that they have interaction with. And I didn't realize that before. And it kind of, that was the light bulb that went on. And that was, not only did they follow me, they would ask me if it was okay, if they would continue to work with me, as if that was a privilege. And I'm like, well, absolutely. Of course it is. So
I like that, because that's an important thing here, I think, that you're highlighting. All of us have relationships. Mm-hmm. And that's what I tell even associates that come into my firm. I say, you're getting the relationships. My job as the owner is to make you never to want to leave here. But in the end, if I don't do my job, the relationships are yours. I mean, that's the beauty. And that's kind of what happened with you. It sounds like your story.
It is.
So what's been the journey like since?
Well, it's, I guess the path has been not what I was expecting. I was expecting it was going to be me and those two team members, and then we would practice law together, the three of us, for the next 20 or 30 years, and that would be it. And it turns out that other people who refer work to us liked our process. When we were free to make the decisions without, having to run this past my partner and other people, and we could really focus on what we did best, it turns out that following the systems and the processes really led to other folks saying, hey, we like the way you do it. Can we send work to you too? Can we add people? So we have more clients, we had to add team members. And then as we had more team members and they did a good job and people liked them, it just sort of multiplied. So now we have 3 attorneys. I was actually interviewing for our 4th attorney this morning. Wow. And we have, I think, 15 or 16 people now. And it's been great, but we have great people. I think that's always been the key to it. If we have a tremendous team, we have a very, very high skilled, high quality group of people here.
And let's talk about that. That's critical, right? Because it was going to be you and those 2, and now you've built a team of 16 people. Going to have your 3rd associate, leaders. How did that process work? And how did you know how to get there? What was the journey like in developing? Because the biggest things in law firms is developing teams. It's the hardest part for most lawyers. For you, it seems like it was okay. It was your skill set. You're really good at building relationships with not only advisors to refer to you, but even your employees, I think, are very loyal and love working with you. What were some of the surprises in that journey, and what kind of helped you along the way?
Well, I don't know if they like it. I love working with them. I really do. They're great. I think part of it is just finding the key people. And once you find someone, just a key person, and just figure out a way to make sure they never leave, that just leads to good things, in my opinion. And someone smarter than me told me that long ago, that if you find someone really good, bring them on board and figure it out, because good people on the team will always lead to bigger and better things. So we've even hired people where we came across them and we really didn't have a need. Like, we didn't have a spot that we were looking to fill, and someone just came into our life, and we're like, if that person was with us, we would have opportunities. There are things we could do that we don't do now if we had someone with those skills. So let's bring them aboard and figure it out. And that was great advice from
what processes along the way, right? Because you're thinking, again, for the folks listening, you're seasoned. You've been in the organization 8 years. I remember your stories in year 1 and year 2 and
12
year 3.
years. 12 years.
12
Dave.
years you've been with us? Holy moly. You're getting old. Is that why?
I know.
But
getting old and getting better.
So the process. So, I mean, you said advisors loved your process. What about the process of team development?
Well, I think it's the team development side is something that I'm not good at. So someone who is good at it is on our team. And so I had to find someone who was good at that. And I think that is tremendously important because we have basically a repeatable system and process for bringing people on board. So people who are trained get the same experience. They have the same, systems and tools that they can use. And it's not just based on, well, whoever sits next to them is going to, help them with how things really work around here. We don't have that. Everybody comes in, we have a 3-ring binder for every position at every stage along the way. And it is something where they are going to get an experience. They're going to be trained thoroughly. It's going to be slow and thorough and take some time. And I think in the end, that leads to quality.
And what's the interaction? For example, how does LWP support you in parts of these things along the way?
Well, LWP really has all of the, I would say, kind of the model profiles for what that job entails, what that member of the team would be expected to do. And certainly there might be, in a smaller firm, I have one person when we started who probably had 3 different hats. They filled 3 different roles and they did them all, 10 or 15 hours a week. As we grew, we suddenly had one person for each role. And then suddenly we had 2 people who had the same role or 3 people who had the same roles. Funding comes to mind. That has been a tremendous aspect of our growth, really. But I think, everyone who does that, we add to it. We add to the training so that anyone who started with us in the funding department 4 years ago, they were trained. And then as we went along, we even added to that. So someone who might have joined us 2.5 years ago, they got all of that training, plus it was boosted a little bit more. So they're ahead of the game and they're a little bit further ahead of really the process. So it's something, it's an evolution and we keep adding to it. And anything we can add that adds quality, we are open to.
So it sounds like the systems and processes are not only for how you practice to the external world, they're also there for how you build and develop your own firm.
Oh, absolutely. I think that everything is systematized and, it leads to a consistent result, a consistent expectation for people on our team. And we have high expectations. That's why we have the people we do. But it's a consistent result for the people, for clients, and the people who refer work to us or who refer potential clients to us because they say, look, we've dealt with this law firm 3 times or 5 times or 25 times. And it is consistent and we know what you are going to get. And it's going to be a high quality experience. And now that means we have to live up to that to continue those, but we have the horsepower to do it because we have, the LWP kind of systems and processes available.
So I got to think about this because one of the biggest things I think, Alan, you can relate to this, you have an email account, right? So how many times in your email each week do you get a marketing solicitation from a marketing firm to tell you how they can solve all your leads problem? You must spend a ton on marketing.
My marketing budget, boy, it is, and I don't want to exaggerate how big my marketing budget is, but it's probably, I don't know, what's the cost of 2 chef salads on Monday and 2 chef salads on Friday? Yeah. So that's my weekly marketing budget, and it's just, someone in our industry or someone in a different industry who I think would work well with us, can I take them out for lunch and get them, whatever kind of cheeseburger or salad they'd like to have. And I'll grab one myself and we'll talk for an hour. And if it works, then we'll schedule another one, next month or 2 months from now, or there's a follow.
I think
the power of partnership and relationships.
Yeah. I think what Alan's referred to is the relationship marketing system. And I think that's important because you're a gentleman who's built an entire law firm from you and 2 staff or 1.5, I think, when you started, to now 16, 17, 3 lawyers, and things of that nature, 2 locations. Yeah. And it's all been built on relationship marketing. which again, I think is important for people to understand, because I think one of the things that scares a lot of people is, how can I afford all this marketing?
Right. Oh, absolutely. That was the one thing I would say. If I am different than some of the folks that in my peer group, or even in my LWP peer group, I would say it is the marketing side of it. We didn't spend, I don't know if we spent $1 on retail marketing, meaning flyers, mailers, ads, whatever that is, TV, radio. I don't know if we ever spent $1 on that. My first maybe 6, 7, 8 years of LWP. I mean, it literally may have been zero, other than perhaps whatever they charge you for the yellow pages, little tiny ad. But other than that, it was none. We've added that as the years have gone by, just to supplement things for fun, and to kind of see if there's a return on investment.
For
but
fun.
We had zero for years.
On he goes. I love it.
Well, I'm sure. I think I'm worried about the people listening. Is this guy for real? Yeah, I love your honesty, Alan. And so I think I want to highlight a little bit about that, because I think relationship marketing, what advice would you have for lawyers about themselves, right? Because again, LWP aside, LWP is a community of lawyers. And I think you and I think others have said, having this community, is an impact on who you are and how you practice. But what is it, if you had to explain to someone that community, or the things that say, hey, you don't have to go out and do retail marketing, but if you're good with relationship building, what advice would you give attorneys and who are struggling to say, how am I going to keep the coffers full?
Well, I think it's you are in control of your own destiny on that one. And again, someone years ago, one of my first mentors just said, pick up the phone, that there are people in other industries who would love to talk to you, but they're afraid to talk to you. You're the lawyer, but if you call them, they'll be surprised, and they will take time, and they will. And from there, you get to meet as many people as you want. And I think maybe the good part of it too is, you don't need every single person you ever meet to refer work to you. You just need a handful. You need 5 or 10 or whatever that number is. So if you have to go to 100 lunches to find 10 people, or 200 lunches, I have to eat lunch every day anyway. I might as well do it with someone, and we'll see if there's a fit. And if there isn't, that's great. It's good to get to know someone. If there is a fit, and you find them, then all the better. That can form a long-lasting relationship. Professional.
I love that, Lisa. As we wrap up, what are you hearing? What do you think would be important for people to?
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I just listening to the successes, and the one thing that really stands out for me was the consistency factor, the constant delivering, the high standards that you hold within your firm. That's the brand you've created. That's the foundation and the expectation that you have created, and your relationships that you have gone out and you have had that lunch with, they get to experience that brand of top quality, consistency, delivering. And that's why it keeps coming back. And so that is just such a great, the marketing person on the call. Yes, that is a form of marketing. And it starts with the brand that you built, that you expect people to when they hear your name.
And those are my people, my team.
That's the high
I got to tell you,
so there's
that's what stood out. That's what stood out for me on this call today, is how you talk about your team. They're
phenomenal.
Your team. You just love your people, and I know they love you. And what I got to tell you, anyone listening to this call feels your energy. And what I love about your energy is, and this is the key thing, you're owning it. You're not expecting anyone else to do the heavy lifting. And you're saying, look, I got to do lunch anyway. Why not do lunch? And I'm assuming along the way, the synergy meeting interview helped, and other tools that are there to help guide you and things like that. But this is really about choosing your destiny and doing this is your story, because this is what's easy for you. And this is what comes naturally. And it's about utilizing these things to better ourselves. And I think that's the key thing, is you've taken the systems and processes and you found a way to be you in them. And I think people think, oh no, system, you got to do it this way. No, this is the way to do it, but be you when you do it. And I think that comes out in your call today. Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, the other question that I have is, talk to me about your work-life balance, Alan. Sounds like you have a great team. You've built an awesome foundation. What kind of freedoms or work-life balance have you been able to create for yourself?
Well, my goals forever, and Dave knows this from the time he's met me, is every year I want to increase revenue and increase my vacation days. And I have been very successful at that. And I like to golf, so I leave all the time. I golf. I leave every Wednesday at 11:30. For 6 months a year. So and then I probably leave most Fridays during the summer and golf then too. And every once in a while, if someone needs me on a Monday, I do that. But the reason we can do it is because we have the team and the process. Yeah. So that's built right into the schedule because it makes me happy. And if I'm happy, it's people probably can see that. But no.
And if anybody's watching your Facebook, they see where you are in the world with your family.
Yeah, we take great vacations. We take a lot of vacations. And that's intentional. And that the vacations part of it too is instead of me working, I don't work 80 hours a week. And my wife and my kids never see me. It's we take vacations all the time. I take them the golf vacations sometimes alone and the family ones together. So we have a lot of fun time.
And what I love about that is that as you built your team and as you built your company, you built also your balance and your boundaries. Right. And I think that's the key thing. To me, that defines a lawyer with purpose, that they're purposeful in everything they do. They do things intentionally, and in the end, you're successful enough to have a whole different sense of purpose. So, Alan, it's always good to talk to you.
Absolutely. I do have one quick question though. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I think I want to have somebody from your law firm to come on and talk to us from a director of operations perspective. And I want to hear it from them too, because it's not just
to hear the other side of this, right?
Yeah.
Zoe?
So you need to let us know, Alan, who you're going to tee up for us next.
All right, we can make that happen. That's for sure.
Awesome.
So,
Well,
I'll let you have the closing thought, Alan.
Well, you'll be much more impressed with whoever it is, our director of operations or anyone on the team. So I was the lead in, and then you get the main event when he or she comes in. But I'll let you have
any closing thought to lawyers listening, what you would say to them about their own development and where they're going?
No, I just think that it's everything is attainable. It's not insurmountable. It's something that you really do have control over and you can make happen. Anyone can. It's really of the background, the horsepower, the systems are there. It's just if you choose to accept and go forward, and you can.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Lawyers with Purpose Practice Success podcast. Again, I am Lisa Rozier. Today we were joined by our special guest, Alan Hougum from the Hougum Law Firm, and he is located in Wisconsin. And Dave, as always, my partner in my partner in crime. My partner in crime. That's the word. I got tied up. So thank you everyone for listening. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Practice Success Podcast. Visit www.lawyerswithpurpose.com/podcast to listen to other episodes and to subscribe. We'll see you next time.